Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Yacach. Come, let us reason together. And Before You Jump series, we've been talking about Before You Jump. I've interviewed quite a few couples and spoken to them about relationships. I've also interviewed single people, talked about relationships. And I just thought, as we round up the Before You Jump series, I'll share a few thoughts with you based on what we've learned, based on what the things people have said. And the very first thing I want to talk about is the whole idea of committing to one person for life, the whole idea of jumping into a relationship with one person or the other. A lot of people take it, lightly. A lot of people don't put so much emphasis or so much attention to it. It's more like a spur of the moment thing, how much I feel for you, how much I think about you, and some just go with the flow. Some are very considerate and very thoughtful in all the process. But I want us to understand that commitment that leads into a marriage, relationship that leads into a marriage. It's like building a house. And Jesus said that which one of you considering to build a house does not first sit down to consider whether they have enough, to complete the building. Otherwise, when they started to build and in the middle of the construction, they realize they don't have enough materials and don't have enough to complete the building, and they abandon the project and people will laugh at them. In the same way, when you are building a relationship, you have to ask yourself, who am I? Do I have what it takes to be a husband? Do I have what it takes to be a wife? Do I really know me? You can't consider, or you can't even want to be in a relationship with somebody when you don't know you. Have you sat down to analyze who you are? What makes you tick? What makes you who you? What's your background like? What do you like about yourself? What don't you like about yourself? Who are you really? A lot of people don't know who they are, and they, as confused as they are going into a relationship not knowing who they are, to meet somebody else who might also be confused about who they are, and then the whole thing becomes confused, ill-prepared. They jump because they feel for each other. Some are just because they lust for sex or something, and before you realize they are married and they are just going along, in the name of Jesus, in the name of God, that they are married, and it becomes a shamble. What I want us to understand is that being a Christian is not reason alone, that because the person is a Christian, therefore I'm going to have a good marriage. No, the person may be a Christian, but they may be selfish. The person may be a Christian, but they don't know who they are. The person must be a believer, doing well in church and everything. Doesn't mean that they'll make a good partner. So I want you, first of all, you must know who you are. And then when you meet somebody, don't just, because we met in church, we like each other, so the next thing we are thinking about is we are getting married, we are going to have a commitment. I wrote in the book that when people are applying or advertising for a vacancy in a job, they consider a lot of things before they employ the person. Some, depend on the importance of the role that they are advertising the company, they may do a series of interviews, 3 interviews or 4 interviews. You may have to pass a few interviews, and those interviews are sifting through the candidates they have. They may start with about 200 candidates and they only have 1 vacancy, and they will have to sift through, first interview, second interview, third interview, fourth interview. The interviews will go on till they select maybe the top 3 candidates, top 4 candidates, and then they interview them finally and then make a choice. In the same way, when you are going to get married, you must understand that it's a very, very important thing. My mom said, and I think I wrote it in the book, my mom said that about 80% of the people who die prematurely die because of the opposite sex. They die because of the person they married, or the person they were hooked up with, or the female gender or the male gender, whatever it is, led them to the untimely death. In the same way, when you're considering a life partner, know that if you choose the right one, it can enhance your life, make your life better. If you choose the wrong one, it can even lead to your early death. So it's not something you gloss over. It's not something you consider, unadvisedly, but you have to be very, very circumspect before you make that decision. Before you jump, it's not just I feel, so I'm going to do. No, consider everything. Be prayerful. Consider all the red flags and everything. Don't be in a hurry to just and the second thing is that always have somebody who's behind, who is not caught in the emotions. They are not caught in the love web that you are caught in. Somebody who is standing, like an empire for you. Somebody who is like looking in, who can advise you whether what you are seeing or what you are, the relationship is going to be a good one or not. And when somebody tells you something that you feel, don't be too quick to defend. If they are telling you something, consider it. Because it's very, very, it might lead to your, happiness or otherwise, And once you get into a relationship, be responsible. Be responsible for the relationship. The growth of a relationship depends on you. Don't be a selfish person. Don't be somebody that goes into the relationship with a different agenda. Be open, but be responsible. Let the growth of the relationship be dependent on the both of you. Be dependent on you. Be willing to give. Be willing to receive, so that both of you will do well. And anything that makes you suspicious or anything that makes you uncomfortable or unsure or insecure, don't sweep it under the carpet. Don't say that, when we get married, things will be okay. No, things normally don't get okay. Marriage only exposes what was hidden. I always say that everybody comes with the right leg and everybody has a left leg. The right leg signifies or stands for your strength. The left leg stands for your weakness. Everybody hides their weaknesses and come with their best foot forward, which is their right foot. They come with it forward. But wait until you find the left leg. When you see their weaknesses, then consider whether you can live with the weaknesses that the person comes with. If not, then advise yourself. So first thing I say that know who you are, and after you know who you are, have you fallen in love with you? Do you love you? Do you love your own space? If you don't love yourself, how do you expect somebody to love you? How do you expect somebody to fall in love with you when you yourself can't stand you? So make sure that you love yourself. The Bible says in Mark chapter 12, verse 30, love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul. And the second was that love your neighbor as yourself. Now, to love your neighbor as yourself, then it means that you must love yourself. So my question is that, do you love yourself? If you don't love yourself, how would you be able to love your neighbor? So make sure that you fall in love with you. You love your own company. You can take your own, be in your own space and be comfortable. Don't be needy. Don't depend on somebody else for your happiness. I know a lot of people who are clingy because they don't love themselves. So they see their essence in the partner they are with. They see their essence in the person they are with. They validate who they are. No. Be happy with who you are and validate yourself before you go into a relationship. The next one is that, are you matured enough? Are you matured? The Bible says, therefore shall a man, in Genesis 2:24, therefore shall a man leave his mother and father and be joined together with his wife. You have to be a man. The word man there doesn't stand for male. It stands for maturity. Are you matured enough to be in a relationship? A lot of people, because they have beard, because they have, they have breasts, they feel that they are matured enough. No. Maturity is not in age. Maturity is in the mind. Are you matured in the mind? Are you responsible? Are you level-headed? You need maturity to do well in a relationship. If you don't have maturity, you are going to go frustrate somebody else's child. Make sure you are matured. Make sure that you are responsible. Make sure you know who you are, or else you will not make a good spouse for anybody. The Bible says in Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from God. If you're a man, go find a wife. Don't find a girl. A girl is not a wife. A woman is not a wife. A lady is not a wife. A wife, obviously, is a lady, is a girl. But a girl and a lady are not necessarily a wife. So make sure that the person is a wife figure. In the same way, if you're a lady, find a man who is responsible before you say yes to that person. Don't think that the big voice, the nice car they drive or the work they do qualifies them. And don't think her beauty, her hips, and everything qualifies her. Is she a wife material? Can she look after herself? Is she clean? Is she domesticated? Is she somebody who can, honor and respect you? Are they a wife material? If they are not, then please walk on. Otherwise, you will struggle. The next thing is that, what is your communication skill like? Can you communicate your feelings to somebody? Can the person also communicate with you? Can both of you communicate well? A lot of people talk, but they don't communicate. A lot of people will say, you can ask a simple question, and the answer will let you know whether the person is communicative or not. You ask a question, the person is dancing all over the place with the answer, and you begin to wonder whether they even understand what question you asked and what the answer they are giving. A lot of people talk, but they don't communicate. So make sure that they are able to communicate with the person, and vice versa. The person can communicate with you. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15, about speaking the truth in love, that you may grow thereby. Speaking the truth is great, but speaking the truth in love is the prerequisite for growth. You can only grow when both of you communicate effectively, communicate in love. And that helps for both of you as a potential couple to become really engaged and move on to marriage. So please make sure that you're communicating and you guys are, healthy. Then the next thing is that we marry into families. It's true that a lot of people think about the person. Well, I'm in love with you. I'm going to marry you. Your family don't matter. I may not be able to stand your folks, stand your friends, stand the people around you. But so long as we love each other, we can get through it. No, that is not necessarily the case. We are all communal beings. So we marry into families. We marry into the friendship circle that the person is. So make sure that whatever circle that your spouse belong to, of your relationship, or else work towards it. Make sure that people accept you for who you are, accept your relation, or else you will struggle in the marriage. So make sure that their folks, her folks or his folks, are accepting of you and can work with you. It's very, very important because we are not isolated beings. So make sure that you are working with them, working with the folks and everything. Then their faith, are they really Christians? The Bible says, what does do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. What fellowship has light got to do with darkness? Make sure that the person's faith is strong. Who they say they are, indeed they are who they say they are, or else down the line in your relationship, in your marriage, you may struggle. I talk about red flags in this book. There are certain red flags that will show up in the relationship when you're considering a partner as part of your interview. Whatever their red flags are. I spoke to a few of the couples and they told me, some said personal hygiene, some said a lot of things. But whatever their red flags are, mark them and see whether you can deal with the red flags. If you can't, then it's better to walk away, or else you will struggle, And Another thing that you must also look out for is the ambition of the person. I wrote in the book that you can't push a packed car. If you're a lady and you marry a man who is not ambitious, who is not very work-oriented, don't have goals and ambition, you might end up frustrating yourself. So make sure that the person has good work ethics. I always ask, in most interviews you go to, they will ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? That's all to get to know your ambition, to get to know whether you have a dream, whether you have something you are working towards. I think you must also do that in a relationship before you get committed. And once you are committed in the relationship, once you get married, the next thing is that grow that union. Every day is a day to grow, or an opportunity to grow the marriage. Now that you're married, there's no turning back. Make sure that you throw the key away. The marriage, you lock whatever handcuff that has cuffed both of you, and throw away the key. And make sure you tell each other this is for life. I remember one day I told my wife that, listen, I'm in it for life. So if anything is going to happen, it's going to come from your end, not from my end. That's a commitment I have made. It's very important that you make that commitment that this is for life. It will help you to face any challenge that will come in life and be able to fight it together. So make sure that you are committed, and make sure that you grow your love for each other. Become friends, become, life partners, be supportive of each other, become the best, the first number one fan of the person, and always find a reason to validate, a reason to work towards a marriage. Make sure that both of you are working towards a marriage. Don't let the sun go down on anger, wrath, whatever it is that comes your way. I always say that Satan likes to come into your house and live there rent free. Don't allow him. Don't allow Satan into your home. Don't allow Satan to be a guest on your bed without paying rent. When he comes, just move him out quickly before the night comes. It's very important. And the next thing is that learn how to deal with each other's family members. I always say that be the barrier between you and your spouse. There's no way your family should go over you to get to your spouse without, you knowing. It should never happen. I don't care what it is like. You have to go through me to get to my wife. You can't just call my wife and insult her, or call my wife and instruct her to do something. No. It's not going to happen. I won't allow it. In the same way, please don't allow anybody to go from you to your spouse. Don't do that. Don't allow. I don't care whether it's your parents. I don't care whether it's your siblings. Don't allow it. Everything must go through you where your family is concerned. Be the door, so that it's only good things that can pass through you to your spouse. And when you have children, make sure you raise the children together. Never be an absent parent in the house. Both of you must be intentional how you bring up children, because that is the basis, or that's the foundation that the children are going to have. You are the first example. So if your relationship is not good, it means that the foundation where the children are going to build their families or their relationship is going to be faulty. So make sure you fight to give your children the best level of relationship, so that they see your example as a solid example that they can learn from. We are all products of what we see. So if they see good things, they will emulate good things. If they see bad things, then obviously they will reproduce what they've seen. So make sure you fight to keep that level grounding for your children. And then when there's conflict, make sure that you solve it between yourselves. Learn to talk to each other. If both of you cannot resolve it, then go to somebody like your pastor, somebody who is not biased, somebody who can call it down the middle. Always have one person both of you respect, and both of you who can tell both of you to sit down, and you sit down, and make sure that that person takes you through your marriage, hold you accountable, and encourage you. When you have any issue you can't deal with, go to that person and be very open so that they can help you. And I guarantee that you will do well in your marriage. It's been great talking about relationships. We can talk all day, all night. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send it to us, and we'll be happy to do a question and answer series, next week. So please, we'll put an email or a mobile number you can send your questions to, so that we'll be able to answer them. It's been great. This is the first time we've done Before You Jump series, and I think I've enjoyed it totally. I don't know about you, but I've really enjoyed it, and I look forward to us meeting maybe all the guests. I was thinking one day we'll put them all together in a room and then have a longer conversation with them. I don't know if you like that. Put on a comment section if you like it, and we'll do that. We are serving you, so if you have any suggestions, any questions, if you want us to prolong this Before You Jump series, and any areas you want us to talk about, please put it on the comment section, and we'll do that. Until I come your way next week, this has been your host, Pastor Chris. I've totally enjoyed this Before You Jump series, and I look forward to meeting with you next week. Until I come your way next week, this has been your host, Pastor Chris. Shalom, peace, God bless.